Record. There we are. Turn up the sound. This sermon that we're going to talk about now occurred last Sunday, and it was the final of a 9-part series, and the third of a section called Being Practical and Compassion. And I began the sermon with the statement that there are only two kinds of people in this world: those who have met Jesus and those who have yet to meet him. Discuss among yourself how you react to that statement, that there are only two kinds of people in this world: those who have met Jesus and those who have yet to meet him. Do you find it too simplistic? Do you find it too exclusive? What theological questions do you have? Part of the fact, what about those who have yet to hear? Talk for a second. I'll pause here. Right, our passage was found in Matthew chapter 9, verses 35 to 38, a small little cameo. And in a second, I want you to read it together. And I want you to discuss the context. What's going on here with Jesus? Where is he? What's happening? What's happened elsewhere in the passage or in the flow of previous passages? Because remember, a text without a context is a pretext. So have a chat there and we'll pause here. Right. You notice in this passage of Matthew chapter 9, verses 35 to 38, that three things seem to trigger the compassion of Jesus. First of all, I think you discuss this idea of being compassionate and what moves you to compassion in general. And then maybe have a brief chat about the three things you see there that seem to cause Jesus compassion. So we'll pause here again. Right, the first thing we notice here that is what triggers Jesus' compassion is the fact that he looks out at people and sees that they are harassed. He sees that they are annoyed or frustrated with life. I wonder how this aspect of people, that they are frustrated or not satisfied, how do you see that manifesting itself, bubbling to the surface among your friends, your neighbors, or in our society? How do you see that? And particularly, how might Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 12 throw light on this particular issue for people? Pause and chat about that now. Fine. It is this aspect of people, that they are harassed, that triggers the compassion of Jesus to share the good news of the kingdom with him. And as we recognize this as a reality for people, we too can become compassionate for them. Now, the second aspect that triggers him in compassion is he sees people as helpless. Why this word, I wonder? In what way are people helpless? Pause here and talk about that. Well, the quick answer is that people are helpless really to save themselves and to get off the merry-go-round of seeking satisfaction in places that it can't be found. The woman at the well in John 4 is a classic here, dear lover. 5 husbands. The 6th man she's with, she hasn't even got around to marrying. She is searching. She is not satisfied. The final aspect, the third and final aspect that triggers Jesus' compassion is the fact that people are like sheep without a shepherd. You know the story of people on a bus tour in Israel, and the tour guide is explaining the role of the shepherd and the way he leads the sheep. He goes before them to bring them around the countryside to find pasture and drink and water. And then the bus stops, and outside is this man driving the sheep down the road ahead of him. And they turn to the guide and say, "I thought you said the shepherd led the sheep." And he said, "Yes, they do. That's not the shepherd. That's the butcher." We're like sheep without a shepherd. How does this image of sheep really fit what it means to be a human being? Pause and talk about that for a second, will you? All right. Of course, the idea that people that are sheep without a shepherd is that they do not know the shepherd, the good shepherd, in John chapter 10. have a quick look at that passage and see how the Good Shepherd is portrayed there and how that might make a difference to people's lives around us. So just a final question for you. How might I be motivated to be compassionate for people? How would it affect me more and help me if I did recognize that people are harassed and that they are not satisfied with life as what it has to offer, or that they are helpless to really save themselves or to do anything else but seek satisfaction in places that won't satisfy, or the fact that they have yet to meet the Good Shepherd? How might this help me to be practically compassionate to these people? What would I say to them? And how might I begin the conversation? And is there anybody particular in my circle that I might be able tonight to start to pray about, and maybe tomorrow to be practically compassionate to them? All the best.